Hey everyone, it's me Elizabeth. Welcome back to a new video. This time I'm going to be doing another TBR video. I do want to mention that I did do a TBR video for the month of, it was either, I think it was June or July or something, and I didn't do a follow-up on that or anything because I didn't read a single book on that TBR. Because I am very notorious for wanting to do these ideas of doing a TBR and blah blah blah. That was the first TBR I think I've posted in a while, if ever. But I always come up with these ideas for these TBRs and then I never follow them. But this month, I'm giving myself a TBR and I'm going to follow it. I have some plans. Let's talk about it. First, I'd like to mention some books that I'm planning to read this month / in the middle of reading. I will mention these books at the end of this video. There's 2 books so far that I have to read this month. I've started them, but I'm basically just starting from the beginning of the book because I only got like maybe 5 pages into one book and 7 pages into the other, so I'm really basically just reading them this month, you know. And then for my other books, now, I do want to mention that I don't read a ton of books in 1 month, and the only way I can read lots of books in a month is because of audiobooks, so maybe I should utilize that, actually. But that's besides the point. Basically, physically, I'm only going to pick 3 books. Besides the 2 that I just said I already have on my TV. Or, I'm only going to pick 3 because I'm notoriously bad at reading anything at this point. My reading has gone down the tubes. I think it's a reading slump or something, but my reading has been kind of crappy and I need to make this be a bit more realistic. Depending on what books I get, we'll see how this works out, but I want to pick 3 reasonably sized books. If for some reason I was to read Rhythm of War, then we ain't doing 3, we're only doing 2. This is like 3 books in 1. How am I going to do this, you ask? It's kind of like a TBR jar with the prompts, but I don't have a jar. I have my computer. So I have these cards that I made on my computer for, it was a Harry Potter TBR game thing that I tried to do, but I made all of these cards and they're basically just a bunch of TBR prompts. So I'm gonna find those. They're somewhere in my photo library. I don't know why I put them in there, but I did. So I'm gonna find those and we're gonna use that to pick some prompts to help us pick books. I'm gonna try to stick with books that aren't super large if I can help it, because I'm trying to read these books. Okay, so I found the cards. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to click on one with my mouse and then read the prompt, hope that I can fulfill the prompt, and we'll go from there. So, I'm just gonna pick one right here. What's this say? Okay, I will put a picture of what the card looks like in the screen here. This one is, I need to also mention that I do want to actually get these in card form, like legitimately professionally printed as cards so that I can actually use them. But anyways, what is the prompt? Hagrid, a book with a dragon on the cover or in the title. Wow, this is awesome. I love this prompt. This is the best prompt ever. I don't know if I have a book that fulfills that. I mean, I should have a book that fulfills that, but that's the best prompt ever. I only have one option for this, and it's also the most perfect option because it's actually the book that I'm supposed to be reading right now. It's actually a book that I started that I'm like basically almost halfway through, and that's The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. Dragon on the cover. Boom. Yeah. I started this. It's just really a slow-paced book, so I was having trouble reading it quickly, and I wanted to take a break from it. But I said I was going to read Harry Potter and then get back to this. Read Harry Potter book 2, and now I'm reading a different book that I started. So I should have continued this, but this is good. I can read this month. And I do want to mention, if I do end up posting this video and you see this and I don't end up reading any of these books this month, these videos are still fun to make. So much fun to make. I love making TBRs, even if I don't read them. So if I don't read any of these books, I'm sorry in advance, but I'm terrible at sticking to TBRs first, and second, just reading. My reading life is just not very great right now. Next prompt is... no idea. Okay. Next prompt is Moody. Read an adult fantasy. That shouldn't be hard, because my whole cart is full of adult fantasy. So, wow. These are good prompts. I like this. Which one should I choose? I have some thoughts on a book that I kind of wanted to choose. But I also, like, I know it's going to be another slow-paced book. It could take me forever to read, which will probably slow down my actual reading of finishing the TBR, but I also really want to pick it anyways. And I already started it as well. Another book I started, but I didn't get nearly as far in this one. I didn't get very far at all in this one. But I think we're going to go for it. And I think I'm going to try and read The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Because I did start this one. I got actually 72 pages in. But everyone else keeps talking about this, and it sounds really good, and I really want to read it. So we're gonna try to read some slow-paced books this month. I don't know if this one specifically is slow-paced, but what I read so far was kind of like not super fast-paced. Last prompt. The problem with these videos or these ideas is that I always want to like pick one more book because it's so much fun just picking the books. But I have to set a realistic goal. I have to set a realistic goal for myself. So, let's choose one. What do we got? We've got Crab and Goyle. Read a book written for a middle-aged audience. Well, if that isn't perfect for Crab and Goyle. I have to read a book for a middle-aged audience, like a middle grade book. Shouldn't be too difficult to find one because I have a whole shelf full of them, but do I feel like reading middle grade right now? It doesn't matter what I feel, does it? So I was actually thinking about doing Land of Stories and then the second book because I read the first one, and so I thought, oh, I'll read the second one because the first one was really good and I'm, in the universe already for this one. But then I was like looking at the book and I'm like, oh, this is like over 400 pages or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick something a little less. It was actually probably close to 500, I don't know. But I was just like, gonna pick something a little bit shorter. So I was going to go with The Thief Lord, and then I was like, I should read Dragon Watch by Brandon Mule because I read Fablehaven, and this is the sequel series, the series that comes after Fablehaven. And basically I read Fablehaven because my cousin is absolutely obsessed. My sister likes the series, all of that. So I decided to read it. I mostly listened to all of them on audiobook. And then I wanted to continue because I enjoyed Fablehaven. I want to mention I didn't absolutely love it like my cousin does, but I did like it. It's fun. I definitely recommend it. So I want to continue. This one also has lots of dragons in it, so yeah. I also could have chosen this for the cover. It says got a dragon on there, and it's got it in the title. So that's perfect for that too. Because I like to torture myself, and because I am an idiot, I'm going to pick one more book. But I want to mention, this book I'm picking is a bonus book, and it's only there if I somehow miraculously finish any of the other books on my TBR. So this is just because I like picking books, and I want to pick another one, not because I think I'm gonna actually read it. Alright. What did we get? I like that we haven't gotten any duplicates. That's nice. Owl. Read a graphic novel or a comic. Oh my gosh. That is so weird. I don't know that I have a graphic novel or a comic that I can read that I haven't already read, but that's kind of perfect. Actually, somehow all of these prompts are absolutely perfect. What in the heck? What in the actual heck? But basically, I really want to buy a comic, so I'm thinking that I will hopefully buy that, and I can read some. I won't be reading like the whole book, but basically, let me explain. I want to start reading comics, and I want to start reading Marvel comics, because if you don't already know, I am obsessed with the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Avengers, Iron Man, all of that stuff, right? So I was thinking about it recently, and I was like, I kind of want to read the Iron Man comics or the Spider-Man comics. You know, specifically, I want to read the Iron Man comics. So I was looking into like how to read the Marvel comics and what's the best, like, just to see if there's some specific way to do it. And I found some videos, and this guy who's super like comic nerd or whatever, and he was like just get an omnibus, pick a character you're interested in, and just get an omnibus and read about the character you're interested in, and then he had all these other tips and stuff. But that inspired me, and I want to buy there's this omnibus of Iron Man, the Invincible Iron Man comics, and I want to buy that and start reading it. So if I can buy that, I will, and I will not be reading the whole thing because it's an omnibus, so it's like this big, but I will read, you know, some comics from it, hopefully, and hopefully eventually I will make my way through the omnibus, because if you don't already know, I'm obsessed with Iron Man, Tony Stark from the MCU, so I want to see what he's like in the comics, because I love his character, so I thought that'd be kind of fun. And then if I get into Iron Man and like it enough, maybe I'll eventually read some like Spider-Man comics, because I love Spider-Man. Possibly like some of the other ones, Avengers, Captain America, stuff like that. My other books that I'm going to be reading, hopefully, okay, so this is the one I just started this like day before yesterday, which was Monday. I started this on Monday, and I'm like a couple pages in. How many pages? Let's see. I'm 16 pages in, so I haven't read much, but I'm hoping that this will be a nice fast read. Hopefully, we'll see. But this is my first read that I'm reading this month. And then I have a book that I also started. I'm like 7 pages in. It's called Here I Stand, A Life of Martin Luther. Basically, I want to learn more about historical figures, and I want to like pick a different person to learn about, and I wanted to start off with Martin Luther, so I want to read this book. I'm going to actually try to annotate it maybe. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I may not finish this book this month. This might just be a book that I read alongside my other books, and then I'll just read it whenever, like, read it slowly. I'm not really sure. I don't think I'm going to read this all at once. I think I might just kind of read it slowly, because I don't know, it just feels like it's going to be that type of book, so it's not just going to be probably for the month of August, but we'll see. Also, I want to mention, this is after the fact that I chose all of the books, but I did decide that I'm going to listen to at least one of them on audiobook, and I did just decide that this is my best option for this book, but I had a credit on Audible, and I decided that I'm going to listen to the rest of this on audio, because I figured that would help me get through this book so much quicker, because so far my problem with this book is that it's really well written. It's so far a decent book, but it's so slow paced because nothing's happening, it feels like, and I know there's going to be some stuff that's going to happen, and I want to get to the action parts, but there's been like basically zero action, and we're halfway through the book, so you know, that's a little questionable, right? So I'm hoping if I listen to the audiobook, it'll make it go quicker, and also since I only have like half of it left, that should also make it go doubly quicker. So that's the plan. I'm going to listen to that one on audio, and then if I get the chance or feel like listening to any of the other ones on audio, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I am going to legitimately try this time. I'm going to try to get back into reading, out of my reading slump, but this is my stack of TBR. We have the 2 books that I already have on my TBR because I'm reading them. We have the book chosen because it has a dragon on the cover for Hagrid, I think it was. And then we have a book that's an adult fantasy. I already forget what the name of the card was, but you get the gist. And a middle grade book, Crab and Goyle. And we have Dragon Watch because middle grade. So those are my TBR. I hope you enjoyed this. I really hope that I can try to stick to this TBR. I'm hoping that maybe I can attempt to do some like other videos that'll help me get through this TBR, that maybe like I'll actually be able to get through this. Also, I want to mention in the middle of August, like the like sort of third-ish week of August, this week, and then next week, and then the week after next week is our vacation. And so I'm hoping that I can read a lot on my vacation and get some of these books read on my vacation. That is it for the August TBR. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all of that. If you're into history, historical, fashion, or styling, check out my other channel linked below. I will see you in the next one. Hope you have your own fun reading adventures. Bye.